you're a home buyer, somebody or a young person looking to buy a home, you need a bit of a reset.
There is a possibility on the other side of this that inflation could actually be quite low.
Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset, and today's video is going to be about millennials having to live at home in order to buy a house. And with unaffordability near all-time highs, it's no wonder why 23%, you guys, so 23% of first-time home buyers that are millennials are back at home in order to save their money. Honestly, I think that's a great idea, depending on what you do with the time that you spend at home. I myself, when I lost everything back during the great financial crisis, I had to move in with my family, and doing so allowed me to get ahead. But it's very, very astonishing that, 23% of millennials are still living at home. And so today we're going to go over the statistics on exactly how many people are living at home and the reasons why. And then I'm going to show you guys once again how much more expensive it is to own right now versus rent. And then I'll end the video basically giving you guys some tips and strategies on what you should be doing if you are living at home. And even if you're not living at home, I'm going to tell you guys strategies that you guys should be doing right now if you're just on the sidelines waiting to purchase a house. And guys, please don't forget to like this video, shoot me a comment below, hit notifications, share it, and real quick, special shout out to Jason Walters for helping me with the editing. You guys, if you want any type of editing service, hit up Jason Walters. His YouTube channel will be linked below. Great guy. Jason, if you're listening, I definitely appreciate your help. It's allowing me to get out a ton of content. Thank you, sir. Now we're going to dig into a few articles here. We're going to start with this article here from New Sir. Now the name of this article is Millennials' Tactic on Housing Market. Live with parents. And do me a favor, guys, before I really get into this, let me know your thoughts on this. Again, I think it's brilliant. I think people should be doing this. It's so expensive. But what do you guys think? Because there's a lot of preconceived notions and a lot of insecurity that tells us as Americans, men and women, that if we move back home, we are failing, we're losers, we're doing everything wrong. But the reality is it can be an absolute blessing, you guys. And it's probably never been needed as much as it has been now. So again, the real thing here is it depends what you're doing if you do move back in with your parents, because it could be an absolutely wonderful thing. But back to the article. Many are living rent-free to save up for a down payment. Now, this is a short article. It goes, millennials have found the solution to affording a down payment on first-time homes in a volatile market, shacking up with their parents. According to the Washington Post, more than a fifth of millennials living with their parents by choice are saving up for their down payment. The National Association of Realtors says 2022 hit an all-time high of first-time home buyers moving from a family or friend's house into their own. So in 2022, it was actually 27%. So it was even higher than what it was right now. And while that share went down 23% right now in 2023, it remained high compared to past data. And again, you guys, remember why this is happening. Unaffordability is near an all-time high, and inflation is still going up on most all categories. We really don't have too much deflation right now. We have disinflation. That doesn't mean prices are going down. It just means inflation is not going up as much. Inflation and unaffordability, y'all, is still getting worse. It's still getting worse right now. We haven't had that bust yet in our economy. As this trend increases, Fortune reports that the stigma of moving back in with rents is lifting. A recent Bloomberg and Harris Poll survey found that close to 90% of Americans don't think young adults living with their parents is anything to judge. And that is 100% right. 90% of America got that right. After graduating into a recession, millennials, the oldest of them, are in their early 40s. I am as well. It hurts for me to say that. Her mental floss hit a host of post-college problems, including the pandemic. But housing remains one of the trickier nuts to crack. The median rent of a one-bedroom apartment reached $1,500 in the US, with bigger cities like New York demanding up to $4,300 monthly. I have no idea how literally anyone can afford to live in New York unless you're homeless and the state's paying you to remain homeless. The cost of renting is a huge problem for young adults, and they may have decided during the pandemic, why should I rent? Why don't I just live at home? The strategy is apparently working. Forbes notes that 2022 was the first year in which more than 50% of millennials were homeowners. Boomers, however, are still edging out younger buyers in the current market. So now that we've determined that it's okay to move in with your parents or your family or your friends, I mean, literally, guys, anywhere where you can get a break from, everyday expenses, that's a great thing. But now what I want to do is talk about what you should do if you are moving back home, if someone is helping you, if you are trying to rebound, or if you're just on the sideline. Now, I'm going to share with you guys what I'm personally doing and how I think that can help you. But I want to start by reading another article from US News that goes into what people should be doing in order to buy a house. Because this is a really good workup and a lot of things that people are not considering when, this overwhelming infatuation with being homeowners is the additional cost it takes to be a homeowner. I mean, what if your AC goes out? What if you have a leak in your roof? What if there's foundation issues? You guys, you don't just want to buy a house if you're using all your money to do so. There's so many unexpected expenses when it comes to owning versus renting, and this article is going to help paint that picture. Again, this is from US News. This will be linked in my description. Financial considerations. When buying a home, there are significantly higher upfront costs versus renting a home. The obvious one is the down payment, but the down payment isn't the only check you are bringing to the closing table. Don't forget about all of the additional closing costs, such as application fees, inspection, appraisal fees, attorney fees, etc. So remember, you have your down payment. The minimum down payment on conventional, if you're a first-time home buyer, if you get Home Ready or Home Possible, is 3% down. Normally it's 5% down. FHA is 3.5% down. You need 20% down on a conventional mortgage to avoid PMI. But don't forget, you guys, closing costs. Closing costs could be 4%, 5% of the purchase price or loan amount. So that's why I'm constantly telling people, if you're out there making offers on houses like I do, make sure you have the seller pay your closing costs, because that'd be $15,000, $20,000. And you don't want to be overextended when purchasing a house. You want to have money left over just for an emergency. Comment if you agree or not. This goes on. Mortgage rates will also have an impact on your ability to buy and what your monthly outlay will be. The good news is that national inflation rate is easing and the Federal Reserve is holding interest rates steady. The Fed has signaled there will be multiple interest rate cuts to come in 2024. Therefore, buying a home might become more of a reality for some buyers in the coming year. However, you want to make sure you understand the expenses, you guys, of owning. Okay, it's not always a slam dunk. Yes, owning real estate is traditionally good, even though we're in a horrible, toxic housing market right now. Traditionally, it's a great thing. In addition to your overall mortgage payment and local or state taxes, you are responsible for all maintenance to the house. Is there a large lawn to be maintained? Because you'll have to either buy the equipment to mow your lawn, or you have to get people that mow it for you. Is there a pool that needs regular servicing? Do you need to pay for garbage removal? Will you need to pay for snow or leaf removal? Will your roof need to be replaced in the coming years? Do you have septic system issues? Do you have storm damage? You guys need to think about these things. Now, while all of this might sound like a lot of money and work, home ownership can be a long-term investment, potentially building equity. And here's the key word here: over time. And it may take 7 to 10 years because of how bad the housing market is right now. So have realistic expectations. Home equity represents the amount of your home that you own free and clear, as opposed to what you have financed. So if I finance $200,000, but my home is worth $300,000, that would mean my equity is $100,000. And that's really what equity means. And one more thing I want to point out, you guys, again, if you are renting, if you are at home saving money, pat yourself on the back, because it's way cheaper to rent right now, and it's way cheaper to put yourself in a position to stay ahead of the inflation and the potential incoming recession. And just to recap here, you guys, and this is from USA Today, in 47 of the 50 largest US metro areas, the average monthly cost of buying a starter home in August was almost $3,000. That is 64% higher than the cost of renting, which was about $1,776. But you guys remember, you also have to have a down payment. So not only are you going to potentially pay 64% more, you also have to burn all of the money that you've been saving. And that's on average. Look at places like Austin. In places like Austin, the starter home mortgage payment was almost $4,000, you guys. That is 136% more to own versus rent at $1,670 per month. That's an average savings of $2,200 in Austin. Again, it's $2,200 more on average per month to own versus rent. So again, a little bit of advice here, and I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving you personalized financial advice. I'm just going to tell you what I would be doing if I was in your shoes, which honestly, guys, I kind of am in your shoes because I'm looking to buy a primary residence. I do not own where I live right now. And it kind of sucks, to be honest with you. But the first thing I want to talk about is how to save, because most people are doing this to save for their down payment. Now, the biggest way, I'm telling you guys, especially if you're watching this channel, the biggest way for you to save money is to rebudget and be happy, be proud, be excited to rebudget because it's kind of a new beginning. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, most people that are watching this can save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars if you would just rebudget, change the subscriptions and the amount of money you spend on food. Those two things alone, I'm telling you guys right now, mark my words, most people will save hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And please, guys, I really want to hear that you're doing this. I don't want to just be making videos about news article. I want you guys to listen to what I'm saying because I've been, chewed up and spit out. I got back to the top as far as credit worthiness and things of that nature. And I don't want you guys to learn the hard way. I wasted 10 years of my life depressed with anxiety, crawling my way out of the gutter after I had my bankruptcy, foreclosure, and repo. It doesn't have to happen to you. So again, number one way to save money is rebudget, okay? Just rebudget. Don't be part of the rat race, which is the US economy. They want us to stay in debt. We are a debt-driven society, but by doing that, if you don't do it smart, you're going to be trapped. You're going to be part of the rat race, okay? And we don't want that. On my channel and the members of this channel, we want everyone to grow and to be empowered. Now, the second thing is credit. Make sure your minimum credit score is 700. If you don't have a 700 credit score, more than likely something's wrong with your credit. Typically, the best way to have a great credit score, first of all, no more derogatory problems, right? No more late payments, no more like maxing out your credit cards, no more getting collections. Those things will destroy your credit. If you don't want to pay a bill because you don't think it's fair, understand that if you let a bill, utility bill, go to collection, you are destroying your credit. And I'm talking like large drops, like 40, 50 point drops. So stop the bad stuff from happening. Okay. Now, the second thing is you got to play the credit card game or revolving debt game. Okay. Credit cards is the only category of consumer debt that has something called utilization ratio. Utilization ratio has a massive impact on your credit score. And what that means is if you have a credit card, don't max it out. Utilization ratio is basically determines how much of your credit card is charged. And you never ever want to go over 30% of your credit line. So make sure if you are using your credit cards, which by the way, you shouldn't be, but make sure if you are that they're at 30% or lower. Now, if your credit's completely ruined, typically the only lifeline back to having and establishing great credit is getting a secured credit card. I usually go to First Premier, Capital One when I was going through my struggles. I got a secured credit card, which basically took $200 of my own personal money and gave me a credit line of $300. Again, a secured line of credit is sometimes the only lifeline back to reestablishing your credit, but never ever charge over 30%. Now, the last thing, guys, is your income. Okay, I've personally taken massive hits. Over the last 2 months, I've probably lost close to $100,000 in income per year. Honestly, pretty devastating, but that is, prompted me and put me in a situation to push me to create another side business. So I'm in the process right now of creating a side business, and that's something that you guys may want to do. So I have my main employment, plus I'm doing things on the side to try to generate additional money. And the beautiful thing about it is sometimes you can make money off of things that you love to do. I love shark fishing, catch and release, okay, conservation minded. So therefore I have businesses in the stuff that I love doing. It's a great way as well to collect additional tax benefits and tax deductions when I file my Schedule C on my 1040 tax return. Obviously consult a CPA. My point is, don't get lazy. Start a self-employment company and understand if you do a self-employment company, it takes 2 years of tax returns in order to use that income to qualify for a loan. So in conclusion, guys, I actually think it's absolutely wonderful that more millennials or young adults are actually moving into their friends or families to try to get ahead in life. I think it's extremely unfortunate, however, that it's 60% more expensive to own versus rent. And I'm also very disappointed on how out of whack and unaffordable everything is. But I'm definitely proud that some people are trying to get ahead of this. And I really hope you are too. And I really hope that you guys are paying attention to what I'm saying as far as your credit, your income, your asset. Now, one of the things that I've done to give back to the community of Real Estate Mindset is I have made a free, 100% free home buying course. And this course is going to teach you fundamentals of how to purchase real estate. I'm going to show you guys credit, income, assets, mortgages, how to purchase like an investor, what to ask for in a seller. I'm not saying to buy, but what I am saying is as you're waiting, like I'm waiting, empower yourself. And I made that course for you guys. It is in my description, and I hope you guys take it. Now, other than that, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you're out there investing in real estate, you guys know I wish you luck, and I hope you win.